Sunday in Portland in the final round of the Cambia Portland Classic from Columbia Edgewater, where Stacy Lewis took a 3-shot lead into this final round. On Wednesday, Lewis announced she would donate her entire check this week to Harvey relief efforts. Lewis lives in Houston. She grew up there, and it is very close to her heart. She wants to win here and make it an entire winner's check that is donated. Can she do it? Let's take a look at some highlights from the final round. Tom Abbott alongside Judy Rankin. Off to the perfect start, Judy.
Great start for Stacy Lewis. She talked about being very calm this week. She didn't know where that calmness was coming from, but we certainly have seen it in her game.
She would get to 18 under par with a birdie at the first. This was her tee shot at the second.
147-yard par 3 at the second.
And a 5-shot lead. She would drop a shot at the fourth. This was to bounce back at the sixth. So a 4-shot lead at that time. Inji Chun, Mario Jutanagan, her closest challengers on the front nine. On to the seventh. And trying to keep up with Jutanagan and Chun, who both birdied that seventh hole. So Lewis moved to 20 under par. Still a 4-shot lead. Now we'll take you out to the 11th and we can check the leaderboard. Lewis has a 3-shot lead. Inji Chun just birdied the 10th. Mario Jutanagan dropped back with bogeys at 8 and 9. She did birdie 10, so she is 5 back. Inji Chun was bunkered off the tee here, wasn't able to make a birdie, but Lewis does have this birdie putt from the front of the green. Judy, maybe a little disappointed she wasn't closer.
Yeah, for sure. 337 yards, a short but tricky par 4. She placed an iron really well off the tee and not so great with the pitching wedge.
And that one will be for a par to remain 3 ahead. Miyazato having a good day today. She's 6 under par, but doesn't look like Miyazato is going to win in her final event on American soil. She's at 14 under. Brooke Henderson, who we talked about earlier in the week, is 5 under for the day. She's inside the top 10 at 13 under par, alongside Brittany Altomare, who's having the best finish of her career so far. Lewis leads by 3. Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Portland, Oregon, it's final round coverage of the Cambia Portland Classic presented by JTBC. A holiday weekend and plenty of folks are here at Columbia Edgewater. We're only about 10 miles from downtown Portland. And this event has such a rich history. It dates back to 1972. Folks coming out to watch here over the years have seen so many of the LPGA greats win, and many have won right here at Columbia Edgewater, hosting for the 28th time. Will Stacy Lewis add her name to that illustrious list of winners, which includes the World Golf Hall of Fame member Judy Rankin, who won back in 1977. Jim Gallagher Jr. is here with us out on the golf course. Jerry Foltz following that final 3-ball of Lewis, Jutanagan and Chun. Kate Cockrell right now watching Miyazato coming in to the clubhouse. Let's go to 13.
Thank you, Tom. Jarena Pillar now for birdie here at the par 3. The whole location on the front portion of the screen. This is a fairly straight putt. Might fall left if it does, and it goes right in the right center for Pillar. So a nice birdie for Pillar. She moves to minus 13. Mario Jutanagan now for par here, Jerry.
Yeah, she had a birdie effort from just off the back fringe, gunned it by an uncomfortable length, but in the process, she's also going to give Stacy Lewis a bit of help here on the read.
A good solid stroke. Always nice to see it go in when you're trying to get an idea what the putt might do. Stacy has this left now for her par.
Slightly different angle than Moria's, but a little bit of an uphill putt, so nothing that's to be feared here. You take a little bit of the break out of it with some speed.
But for what it's worth, her putting numbers really good this week. In the first round, 26. Friday and yesterday, 25 putts in those rounds of 70, 64, 65.
Yeah, when she holds that finish, she really has putted well and made a lot of good putts. And as Jerry said, this is just right center and firm. So,
good catch.
Yeah, round and round. Just kind of get your attention. She'll stay at 20 under par. There's still a 3-shot lead, Tom.
Well, thank you, Jim, and welcome inside our booth here on the 18th hole of Columbia Edgewater. Tom Abbott and Judy Rankin here with you, watching what is a really fascinating story, because Stacey Lewis is not just playing for herself, she's playing for her hometown. We don't get to experience something like this very often, do we? Watching a player with this sort of motivation.
Yeah, well, we don't see so often, thank goodness, such devastation as Houston has seen. And I think what I really believe is that Stacey Lewis wanted to do something really impactful for her hometown of Houston, Texas. I think as she was coming here and as she was thinking about what she might do, all players come, don't get me wrong, to a tournament thinking the end game is I want to win. But I really think in Stacey's case, she didn't think as much about winning as the fact that she has been playing very well. And there was no doubt in her mind she would, one way or another, earn a big, serious check when she decided to donate her entire check to Houston.
But let's take the charitable side out of the picture for a second and talk about Stacey Lewis winning. I mean, I'm tired of saying Stacey Lewis hasn't won for over 3 years. I'm sure she is tired of hearing it.
I was going to say, you think
Yeah.
Stacey Lewis might be tired of hearing it?
She might be tired of hearing it,
You
too.
bet, you bet. Look at these numbers. 83 starts, 37 top 10s, 12 runner-up finishes, and we checked it out yesterday, more than $4.2 million since her last win.
Which was at the 2014 Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship. It was played in June. So it's been a while. Now Inji Chun on the tee at 12.
With just a slight little breeze helping this down the right center, right edge of the fairway.
Brooke Henderson now for birdie at the 17th. We've only seen 3 birdies here at this location. She's made a heck of a round. Good comeback, 5 under on her round today. Yesterday was a couple over, so didn't drive it very well yesterday, but obviously got it straight back today. Let's go back to 12.
And Moria Jutanagan.
Perhaps with a good one here, Moria might be able to get home in 2. She has a little hidden power in this golf swing. That's it. Very nicely low, little draw off the left.
That's about as good as it gets there.
Yep, I think 12 is going to be a really important hole for Stacey. 12 is the last par 5 on the golf course, and I think if she could manage to make 4 here one way or another, that's going to put her in a little bit more comfortable position. This is a very, I hope this is a word, birdieable golf hole.
It is if you say it.
Oh, thank you.
Starts off up the right side as well. Should be fine in the fairway.
Made a birdie here in round 1. She's parred it in the last 2 rounds. Lewis would love a birdie today. She has a 3-shot lead here on the final 9 of the Cambia Portland Classic.
Hello, I'm Mark Gans, President and CEO of Cambia Health Solutions. We are pleased to continue as title sponsor of this 46-year-old event. Cambia is also celebrating our centennial this year, and as a company where women account for 70% of our workforce, we love marking this milestone with an event that features such talented women athletes. As we are enjoying this tournament here in Portland, we will in a special way be thinking about those who are suffering the consequences of Hurricane Harvey. Cambia and the LPGA will be teaming up to direct a portion of the proceeds of this event toward the relief efforts, and we encourage you to join us. Welcome to the Pacific Northwest and the 2017 Cambia Portland Classic.
Yeah, that's a good line.
The money being donated by Cambia along with the LPGA. There's a Metro Tour involved as well this week with their sponsor, Relive. So a lot of money being donated to what's happening down there in Texas. Stacey Lewis wants to add her portion as well. This has second at 12.
Just a layup over 300 yards to the hole. 4-iron was a signal. Trying to get close to 200 out of this to leave herself a little 102-yard wedge.
And that's a smart thing players do if you can manage it in your own game. When you're going to lay up, see if you can leave yourself your favorite shot or a club you really feel confident with.
Well, let's meet today's final group, presented by JDX.
Hi, I'm Inji Chun. I'm from Republic of Korea. My nickname is Dumbo because I have many curiosity.
I am Miyazato. I am from Thailand. I like to cooking and play tennis.
Hi, I'm Stacey Lewis from the Woodlands, Texas, and I was a 2012 and 2014 Player of the Year and a former Arkansas Razorback. Go Hogs!
Our feature group presented by JDX.
17th hole, Miyazato. K, second shot.
It is with a 6-iron. Just trying to land this about 150.
Oh my.
A little sneak peek of what will come for the final couple groups.
Exactly, Tom.
Just quickly, special thanks to Tom Miletus and Rob Neal from the Tournament Golf Foundation. Tom is the chairman and Rob Neal, the executive director. It is hard to find two nicer, more dedicated people in the world of golf than Tom and Rob. They always look after us so well here. They love the game. Tournament Golf Foundation has raised over $18 million for charity. This was just a moment ago at the 12th, third shot for Inji Chun.
Gap wedge from 107 yards to the hole. Little breeze helping. And a nicely played shot.
And a good chance for a birdie to get to 18 under par and cut the lead potentially for Stacey Lewis to 2 shots. So how is Lewis going to respond? Her third shot now.
2 yards closer, 105 to the hole. A little bit of an uphill lie. Much higher shot, flying it deeper into the green, needs to spin.
Yeah, it does. Maybe just a slightly longer putt than the one she had for birdie on the 10th hole, which did not drop. Let's go to 14, where Chella Choi has a chance for a birdie. Good week for Chella Choi. She has this to get to 6 under for the day. It's not even close to dropping there, so Chella Choi remains at 15 under, and at the moment tied for third with Mario Jutanagan. But time now for our course setup presented by the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America, and this golf course that we've seen so many times over the years, Judy, and I know you love coming here.
Yeah, beautiful golf course, lush and green. You see the bluegrass and poana, you see the rough is bluegrass and ryegrass, so very, very green. Greens running at 12 on the stimp meter. That is reasonably quick, but a bigger story about the greens this week is there are 3 or 4 greens that have been extremely firm, and that has made the players think a lot.
And able to keep those greens smooth late in the day, which is not always easy when we come to the West Coast. And we get those big towering trees which line the fairways here. Back out to the 12th. If you were a youngster, you'd want to climb those trees, wouldn't you?
I just like looking at them. They're gorgeous.
Yeah, exactly, and it's going to release. So I'm thinking, yeah, 38 round is good.
Or his third shot, just over 45 yards to the hole. Tried getting it as close as she could into. Play more of a pitch shot that will release, check up maybe on the second or third hop, and then continue to roll. Not a lot of contour in the screen other than it slopes gently from back to front. Or she's going to try and fly it deep there.
Similar to what she did yesterday, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah.
Untidy.
Miyazato now for par.
Yeah, Chip did a slick chip shot that rolled out to this point where she has a 3-footer. I don't see much in this putt.
No, this is one of those greens they spoke of that's firm. 16th is the 4th toughest. This is the 2nd toughest, and 18th is the hardest. So the last 3 holes, nice par for Aya there, but the last 3 holes are very difficult. 31 on the front 9, 6 under on her round.
2005.
Shaping up for an interesting finish tomorrow at the Dell Technologies Championship. The likes of John Rahm, Justin Thomas, Mark Leishman, Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth are going to be in the mix tomorrow. Our coverage continues 11:30 a.m. on Golf Channel, and then you can switch over to NBC from 1:30 p.m. Eastern. It is a Monday finish, a Labor Day finish for the PGA Tour this week. Looking forward to watching that tomorrow. Brooke Henderson, a little wayward at 18. This could be a risky shot. The water in play. Oh, Brooke. Well, you can't fault her for going for it. But it is going to maybe lead to a big number on 18 for Henderson, who was going for 3 in a row here, 3 wins in a row. It's not going to be 3 in a row for Henderson. Now to the 12th and the 4th shot for Jutanagan.
Just a little chip and run here. Probably going to land it on the first cut of fringe. It'll break a little left once it lands.
Not much doubt 2 days in a row, Moria would have been better off with a little full sand wedge or something into this green than the shortish pitch that she had, because both times got away from her and ran beyond the hole and just off the fringe of the green.
Stacey Lewis will be next to play, trying to get it to 21 under par, which would equal the lowest winning score here set by Henderson 2 years ago when she won by 8 shots.
Well, Moria's pitch shot went right by Stacey's mark. It fooled me. I thought it was turning left and kind of went back right at the end. Travis is signaling the slope to the right, as this is almost in a little bit of a valley right here between the slope off the back middle of the green and the right side of the green. I still think it moves left, but I think it's a tough one to read.
Chun with a really good chance to get it to 18 under par, so this most likely to maintain that 3-shot lead. And this one just drifts by as well. 1 at 10, so close to dropping. Both the par 5s on the back 9 just yield pars for Lewis.
She probably gave a bit of a read to In-Ji Chun.
And the final hole that Miyazato will play in competition in the United States, Kate.
Yes, after 12 years on the LPGA Tour and a wonderful track record here in the Portland area, and fitting that she would hit it straight down the middle.
It's going to be an emotional run, not only playing this final hole, but also the next few weeks, because she will finish up at Evian in a couple of weeks' time. Back to In-Ji Chun for birdie.
And Judy hit the nail on the head. Judy, she was watching very closely as Stacey's putt rolled by from the exact opposite side of the hole.
I think Stacey kind of said to Travis that she pushed the putt a little bit, but geez, this girl's such a good putter, this young woman, and not a difficult putt.
It's going to be a battle for Stacey.
Back at the 13th hole, par 342 yards, and In-Ji Chun will be first to play.
Whole location today, Jim, totally brings in that front and left water hazard. This is 7-iron into a light breeze. Seems like plenty of club.
Players have kept it out to the right. There is a slope behind this whole location.
This is just left of it.
Well, it could come off that slope. She's right at the crest of it. And there it comes a little bit. Let's wait for it. Okay. That's a nice solid shot in there. 5 under on her round. Now at the 15th, Joanna Pillar in the left fairway bunker. This green about halfway on gets really firm, but maybe out of the bunker she can hold it. She should be able to put a little bit of spin on this one. And she does. Nice shot. Releases all the way back to this whole location back in the center of the green. So good opportunity for birdie. Made a mistake off the tee, but made up for it on the second shot. Let's go over to 18.
This is actually the 5th shot for Brooke Henderson. At 18, you saw her in the water. So it's going to be a bit of a messy finish, I'm afraid, for Henderson. Which is a shame, because she has such a great record here. Didn't want to cap off this week with that kind of a finish, but that's the way it goes. Back to 13.
Yeah, Moria on the team next.
Moria going with 1 club less than NG Chun. This an 8-iron. That tells me that she is going to take the chance on getting it close. Pretty much feels, I would think in her mind, like she has to run the tables here out to have a chance.
Yeah, especially if the last 3 holes are so difficult. She should definitely have to take advantage of these next couple. Actually, the next 3.
This at the right edge at best.
Yeah, that lands soft. Maybe I'm just trying to push it a little too hard to get there. Much wind here today, so perfect conditions. And now Stacy will be next.
Is the right of it starting? Or?
Yeah, there's a guy squatting down there right edge of that back pocket.
Yeah.
That's a good start. Yep, this is solid.
Good.
Stacy going with 8-iron. Not the most conservative club, but at least she'll put a good full swing on it, which typically Stacy, when in between clubs, tries to hit the shorter one a little harder and has more success than the other way around.
Yeah, I like it with this left location too. She's hit it really solid on the range before play. Watched her warm up.
This has potential in the air, Jim. Just right of the hole.
Ah, very good. Come off the slope a little. There you go. She's hit 12 of 13 greens. That's even getting better. Yeah, good shot. Knows the slope is back there, and that's where you got to play it. So, good opportunity for birdie. Up to 18.
Henderson to finish with a double bogey. Well, she said this event changed her life 2 years ago. She Monday qualified, got in, she won. She then petitioned the LPGA Tour for membership. It was granted. She became an LPGA Tour rookie. She came back last year, successfully defended the title, wanted to make it 3 in a row, but obviously not to be. 70 for Henderson. As Miyazato waits back in the fairway, we will see her finish her LPGA career on American soil when we come back. Back on the 18th hole with Miyazato. 12 months ago, she decided that 2017 was going to be her last season. She waited till the springtime to make that announcement. And now the time is ticking for her to step away from the tour. She's going to retire fully at Evian in 2 weeks' time, but this is her last appearance, Kay, on American soil, and she wants to finish off with a birdie.
Regardless of how she finishes here at this last hole, she can be proud of herself. It's been a solid round today, 6 birdies, no bogeys. And she hit a beautiful drive here at the last, 138 to the hole, needs to carry this 133.
Oh, dear, dear, dear.
Oh, it stayed out of the water, but it's not going to be an easy shot.
Yeah, we do not see ripples.
Now NG Chun for birdie here at the par 3 13th.
NG and Stacy were about virtually identical distances away. NG said, I guess they felt like she was away nonetheless, putting first, turning a little right. Supposed to.
Up straight, yeah. There is influence. I rolled some balls there, but it's just a tough one to read. Pretty flat right there, actually. Chella Choi for par here at 15. This to stay at minus 15. Hit in the greenside bunker. Blasted it out to here and blasted that putt through the break and right. So at least lose one shot here at the 15th. Now Stacy Moria did make par here at 13, so Stacy has this left.
They're studying it a lot.
It's a tricky putt, Jerry.
It's a little downhill.
Yeah.
It really doesn't do much, does it?
No, and that's the thing. It's almost where the hole is actually. It's almost dead flat. It's a real tricky. If you get to the other side, towards the front, there's a little more influence towards the water. But I think she can just keep this in the hole.
Well, give herself just a little more breathing room heading into the final 5 holes.
I don't think there's any doubt the putts at this stage of the game are a little more pressurized than they were on the front 9.
Yeah, I had to be a little cautious going downhill, but that's extended. That still has a 2-shot lead, but both Chun and Stacy miss opportunities for birdie at 13 as they head over to the 14th. Jarena Pillar for birdie. Saw that wonderful bunker shot she hit from the fairway bunker. This to get to minus 14. Nope. Misread, but still a 4. Keep her on a tie for 6th. So let's go up to 18.
Nice moment as Miyazato walked up. This was just a moment ago as she came up to the green.
You know, it reminds me of when Lorena Ochoa stepped away from the game. She was considerably younger, but both the same kind of people just have warmed so many hearts and brought people to golf.
Good shot.
Pretty nifty shot out of a rather suspect lie. Had to hover her club as she was inside the hazard line.
9 wins in her 12 years on the LPGA Tour.
And Tom, the year 2010 when she won here, it was her 5th win that year. She ascended to #1 on the Rolex ranking for a period of time.
Take a look at some of the highlights from Ai's career. As Kay mentioned there, she reached world #1 in 2010. 4 of the first 9 events in 2020 she won, and of course this one was 5th. And when she came through the Q School, she won by 12 in 2005, and she had many people following her from Japan, lots of media from Japan following her. She sort of burst onto the scene. Chun now on 14.
Tight driving hole with driver. Wow, there's no hole. Too narrow for that tee shot.
Yeah, that is just perfect off the tee. Now Stacy Lewis.
Well, NG is doing her part to keep the pressure on Stacy. Stacy is responding admirably. Tee to green, hasn't made a putt yet this side, but still a somewhat comfortable 2-shot lead.
Right behind her, you can see the narrow look.
That's up the left center of the fairway, maybe left edge.
She said yesterday she really had no idea where she stood in terms of the leaderboard. Today, you would think she's paying attention to what NG is doing. She leads by 2. This was just a moment ago. Ai Miyazato for a par on 18. That's a shame. Wanted to finish with a 4, but it's going to be a 5 for Ai. Still pretty good week considering It's not been a great year, Kay. This will be her first top 10 when this one goes in.
It will be, and that's something to be said for itself, not having played a real full schedule.
$8.2 million in Ai Miyazato's career. And you're going to see her put her arm around her caddy, and that's Mick Seaborn. He's been with her a very long time. And that's our Tom Miletus. Rob Neal that we mentioned a little earlier.
Yeah.
Well, she is without doubt one of the most popular figures on the LPGA Tour. A huge star in Japan.
Both of her brothers play professional golf, and they were all taught by her dad, Masuro Miyazato.
Back out to the action at 14, Amori Jutanagan.
And what breeze there is going to help the shape as well.
I can just swing this, right? Just sit for one.
Yes.
Well, this is from 114 yards. Obviously some obstruction between her and the flag stick. The rehearsal swing was like she's trying to hit a low draw. Getting the ball to curve out of this lie is about nearly impossible.
Nice.
Tree trouble?
Oh yeah, caught the tree, kicked down in the fairway, half the distance to the hole.
Really hard to hit that little low burner out of thick grass.
Jutanagan 5 back. Chances of winning here very much slipping away. It looks like it is going to be between Lewis and Chun. Now Lewis is second.
109 yards, ball well below her feet, but she had a similar lie yesterday and hit it up there stony.
Yeah, it was inside of 2 feet yesterday.
Sit. Down. Down. Sit.
Well, it'll listen. Sometimes can happen off that kind of lie, Judy.
Yeah, ball below your feet and a real lofted club is almost more awkward than with something like a 6-iron.
Now Chun.
2 yards closer, 107 to the hole. Ball just slightly below her feet. Not nearly as drastic a lie as was Stacy Lewis's.
Really nice shot from In-Ji Chun. Sets up a great birdie chance here at 14. It is going to be a battle between two of the best players on the LPGA Tour. Lewis with a 2-shot lead, but In-Ji has a great chance for birdie. Back on the 14th green here with Stacey Lewis and Jerry. This putt will go a long way in the battle between herself and In-Ji Chun.
It would, but not an easy putt. This green is looking so very stressed, so brown and crusty almost. And it's a little bit slippery, turning slightly right.
She's going to get there, and another one just scoots by. That's 3 on the back 9. And that leaves In-Ji Chun with a great chance to cut the lead to just 1 shot. A lead which was 5 shots earlier in the round. Well, we just saw Ai Miyazato finish up. She is now with Kay.
Thank you very much, and it was a beautiful round of 67 for you, Ai, on your last time playing here at Columbia Edgewater. You are retiring. What are you going to miss most about the LPGA?
I'm gonna miss so many things, but I think mostly my friends and all the people from the LPGA and sponsors. You know, I met through playing golf. You know, so many good people on the tour. So I'll definitely gonna miss them.
What are you possibly going to do to fill up your time once you retire?
It's still up in here. Now I have a time to think about it, you know. But the first, I just want to, you know, settle down and have a maybe normal life a little bit. So maybe going back to Japan rest of the year and stay in my hometown and maybe hang out with my friends and see how it's going to happen in my future.
Talk a little bit about Portland golf and what this tournament has meant to you, being a former winner back in 2010.
I mean, it's been tremendous week for me. And on the last hole, I got really emotional because I didn't know that the Tom was, you know, bring a flower for me. And but you know, including that, I have so many great memories of this tournament. You know, this is my favorite city forever now, and the people are so supportive of this tournament, and it's just a really enjoyable tournament. So I'm glad I'm playing this week, actually, of my last year. So very happy.
Well, domo arigato for all that you've done for the LPGA and all that you've done for golf fans here in Portland. Good luck in Evian and on your retirement.
I'm Miyazato, playing a final event on American soil. It's her 12th start in Portland. She recorded 3 top 10s and a win back in 2010. Back out to the green at 14, where Chun is looking at her birdie putt. Meanwhile, Stacey Lewis has walked ahead to the 15th. What do you make of that, Jerry?
Well, it's not very far. It's only 20 yards away. There's a lot of people between where Stacey would stand and being able to see this anyway, so that's not that big a deal.
I think she's kind of trying to reinforce that calm that has been with her all week.
And maybe
I agree with you.
Stay in the shade.
Well, in this putt for NG, there's no doubt about it now. She had to move her mark for Moria Jutanugarn, who just missed her birdie or par putt on the same line to the left edge putt. She pushed it early.
Wow. 2 chances go missing for Chun. And Lewis will breathe a sigh of relief.
Well, Stacey has to have it in her head that regardless of what Chun does, she's got to play some real good golf the last 4 holes. That's the best thing that she can focus on right now.
Chun for par.
You know, in professional golf, regardless of who you root for or where you play in the world, nobody's going to give it to you.
21 under par, a 3-shot lead would be a lot more comfortable. And I know that sounds silly, it's just 1 shot, but there's a big difference out there between 2 and 3 with 4 holes to play.
Well, 15 gives you a little bit of not breathing room, but it's not the hardest hole on the golf course. 16, 17, and 18 really push you on this golf course.
That's the view back there at the 15th tee. This fairway bunker on the left side has been in play a little bit. Just have to lay it up somewhere just short. Stacey's made all pars on this hole, and NG has actually played it 1 under for the week. So
Pretty much every player in the field tries to take those bunkers out of play just with distance. Try to keep it short of them. If you do that, you want to pretty much aim it right at the left fairway bunker to leave yourself with best angle in. Right edge of the fairway can get blocked out somewhat.
We see exactly what you're saying, Jerry. We're right behind NG.
That is at the right edge of the left bunker. Excellent shape.
yeah, that's perfect, especially with this whole location in the back center of the green. This has been a tough green to hit in regulation, believe it or not. Even though it's
bunker, yeah.
Hole is right in the back middle of the green.
Fields only hit this green 40%, 42% of the field have hit this green. It's just so firm, and if you don't hit it in the fairway, you're very difficult.
Sticking with that game plan she developed probably even before this week began. Weather conditions no different today. This is the ideal position here. Left side of the fairway. Great angle in.
Yeah, she mentioned that yesterday in your interview with her. She was not going to change anything. Why would you change? Stacey with a 2-shot lead. We'll be right back.
Golf Channel, the LPGA Tour, bringing you live final round coverage of the Cambia Portland Classic presented by JTBC. It is the longest running non-major championship event on the LPGA Tour. They've been coming here since '72. Go out to the 15th hole and watch this battle, Jim, between Chun and Lewis.
Yeah, it's been quite a battle. Now Stacey with a perfect tee shot.
Only like four back behind.
38 front, so you probably just need like 5 on.
5 or 6 on.
43.
Yeah.
It's hot and a little bit of help.
Yeah, wind's more left, right. A little bit above your feet, so you can lose a yard or two there.
There's like a low 40 shot.
I was thinking 45.
Just a little left of it then?
Yeah, just in the gap, but there's two people that are kind of far apart. You know, there's like a little brown twig in the tree there.
That aiming spot is about 20 feet left of the hole. They have her at 160 hole, have her 158. But you heard them say just going to try and land it 5 or so yards onto the front of the green.
Yeah, everything that's landed any more than that has released to the back portion of the green and almost ricocheted.
Sit.
Actually hit pretty soft. It hit just in the front portion of the green.
That's a lengthy putt, though.
Yep. And if it goes 10 more feet, it would have ricocheted. Serena Pillar's third here at the 17th K.
Jim, she has a good lie. Just needs to delicately land this on the edge. Gravity will pull it all the way down.
Ryan Byrne, our Golf Channel studio, currently on the left of your screen, the Cambia Portland Classic. Stacey Lewis hasn't won in 3 years, 2-shot lead over MG Chun. Right of your screen, a second event of the FedEx Cup playoffs, the Dell Technologies Championship. NBC has just signed off for the day, thus the continuation of the third round will continue now on Golf Channel. Certainly with this double box technology, able to keep you up to date on both events at the same time. So we'll take you now out to both the Cambia Portland Classic and the Dell Technologies Championship.
All right, welcome to our Golf Channel coverage here. Continuing coverage of the Dell Technologies Championship. We went off the air at NBC with the golf, but joining you right now here with just 2 groups left to finish up the third round. 6 players left to finish up. And out to the 17th for the final threesome, Gary.
John Rahm will be next to putt. Lengthy putt for birdie, David. I'm sure longer than he wanted from the yardage that he played from in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, it's hard to keep the spin off it, as you say. And he just went off the boil here on this inward half.
Yeah, it was going along nicely, a couple under par through the front 9. And just has not played well on the back 9. 2 bogeys and not a single birdie. Some speed, and that one races on by. Up at 18.
And that's the second for Grayson Murray. He's got a decent lie. 239 left from the left rough.
I don't know if he's going for that or not. That's a dangerous shot.
Looks like he's going for it. He's eyeing it like, get over. And it just gets over. Barely.
I mean, that was like a crazy gamble, but he pulled it off. Good for him.
Not high percentage at all. Back to 17.
Paul Casey, birdie putt here from just under 30 feet.
Yeah, and kind of the opposite of Rahm's round. He has played very well in this back 9.
Breaks more than it looks, huh, Gary?
Yeah, that we've talked about it, John. The tendency is to underread the break. Oh, this looks pretty good right here. Paul Casey to 11 under par within 1 shot of the lead. And Dan, he was saying, you know, I feel like I've got a little bit of unfinished business after he had the 54-hole lead here last year. Shot 73 in the final round, allowed McIlroy to come from behind and beat him. So there's a nice smile.
And he started last year with 366s.
Paul Casey to 11 under, one off the lead. On the left of your screen, the Cambia Portland Classic. Get back there with Stacey Lewis with the crucial putt.
Hey, I'm going to try to win the FedEx, the Memphis St. Jude tournament, and it was just one of those things that kind of I got away from thinking about winning, and I think that's the same with Stacey. You don't think about how important, put so much pressure on yourself trying to win if you haven't won in a couple of years. Something to kind of deflect that. Maybe motivation, whatever you want to call it. I don't think she needs to be motivated any more than she is, but maybe to get something off the mind. And if you take a look here, the front nine 15 under, the back nine 5 under, so has really got off to those good starts. But I think anything that kind of deflect the fact that you're trying to win. But the good news, they're in the same pairing, and I like the fact that the last 3 holes are so difficult, and you're going to have to make birdie to catch Stacey.
Hey, and just for the record, Jim Gallagher won that tournament in Memphis.
I did. Got lucky.
Right now, Stacey just trying to dial in the speed on this lengthy one. Have a lot more sense of calm if she doesn't have to work for the par.
That's got to go.
You know, you're trying so hard at this point to do everything the same way you've been doing it, to breathe the same way, to not start trying too hard, to not start trying in a different way. So hard to do.
It is, and you want to stay in that same, but you know, your nerves, your emotions, you got to be able to somehow block that out and stay focused, but it's very difficult to do. I mean, she's done it many times. I think you just go back to someone that's had success that she has and think back of how did I react? What did I do when I was in those positions? And I think that's important for the mindset. But you know, it's the cliche, one shot at a time. You just don't get too far ahead of yourself.
Her coach, Joe Hallett, told me a long time ago, Stacey's the kind of player that if she were playing basketball, she'd say, give me the ball.
Yep.
So right now, I suppose in our golf world, she's got the ball, and she will have to see if she can take it home.
Looks like NG Chun's trying to figure out if she's on or off the green, Jerry. So she can mark it.
Deciding that now, yeah. Donna Mummer's out there.
It has to be touching the green.
Boy, that's awful close. I don't know if that is or not with our view.
The ruling was no.
Yeah.
Yeah, all it has to do is be touching one blade of the grass that's on the green. It's oftentimes pretty tough to tell how well manicured these fringes are.
Yeah, the big deal would have been about cleaning the golf ball, but that might not be an issue at all.
No bogeys in the last 49 holes, so she's played these last 4 fairly well, actually. So in her mind, she knows she's got to make some birdies.
This one a little bit downhill. I still think it has to break from the left a bit. Not always the case on this green.
Wow.
Good putt.
That was a good putt. That was a pretty straight putt. Actually went to the back of the green. The back portion of the screen looks like it's going that way, but I don't know. This has been, Jerry, we've talked about it. It's one of the tougher greens to read. I guess because it's fairly flat back there.
Talk about record scoring here. We mentioned Brooke Henderson in 2015, and she just blew away the field, winning by 8 at 21 under par. That is the record number. You see Pedersen at 20 under when the event moved back to Columbia Edgewater, having been over at Pumpkin Ridge.
Stacey just kind of getting back to get that little feel where she's ready to go. But Moria now for her birdie.
Got a good read off NG, I'm sure. Just trying to, at this point, add a few more dollars to what has been her best season thus far by a long shot.
Yeah, $750,000 already for Moria without a win.
And on the leaderboard seemingly every week.
There you go. Nice birdie. That helps a little bit. Gets her into solo third. Stacey Lewis now has just a little bit left for her par to maintain that 2-shot lead.
She's been awfully solid on these all week long. That stroke, which is always so smooth, just seems to be flowing with a little less effort this week, Judy. Just a little more confidently. But it is more than 3 feet.
Yeah, it's just a matter of keeping that putter face square, and that's what, when she's made those putts, she's held that finish. Okay, nice par. So head over to 16th. Stacey's played the last 3 even, and NG's played them 3 under. So it's going to be quite a battle as we finish up for the week. But these are 3 very difficult holes, and par will go a long way for Stacey. NG's going to have to make some birdies, and you can't rely on your opponent.
Ryan Burr back in your Golf Channel studio. So Stacey Lewis good for par there. The lead remains 2 over NG Chun. The story again for Lewis, over 3 years since her last win on the LPGA Tour. She will donate her entire winnings this week to Hurricane Relief. Back now to the Dell Technologies Championship, TPC Boston. Paul Casey out on the golf course remains 1 off the lead. Let's take you back to our live coverage.
He would have that bad of a run, though, doesn't? I mean, as good a player as he is, he has a lot of upside to his game.
Well, remember him at the Players Championship, Johnny? He was seemingly in firm command till he faded on that final round Sunday. I believe he shot 75 on that final day at TPC Sawgrass. Yep, he was the 54-hole co-leader then.
He doesn't have a lot of break, really. It's not that hard of a putt. You got to come up to another level.
But he put away the Quicken Loans title for an emotional second win for him on the PGA Tour earlier this year. From Gig Harbor, Washington, says he's used to the rain. And he had a Washington State kind of day today. But by the look on his face, you know he certainly wanted to perform better than he has.
Yeah.
All right, Grayson Murray is next.
Not a lot of break here. You could make it inside the hole every time.
This to tie Spieth at 10 under. Just 2 back. Oh, what a putt by Grayson Murray, who flirted with a hazard, ends up with a birdie 4. 67 for him, and he's getting closer and closer to Atlanta, projected in the 34th position. Top 30 make it to Eastlake. Grayson Murray at 23 in his rookie year on tour, just so happy with the way he's playing. Commented earlier, if my season ended here, I have still had a great year.
That's a good way to look at it, isn't it?
And it's not going to end here.
That was quite an up and in, actually, to make that birdie. Grayson.
Well, he's putting for par. If he misses, he's outside the top 70 with a bogey.
This also is quite straight.
Good concentration there. Maintain his spot even with a 74 just inside the top 70.
Yeah, 74, man, I get trampled.
So he's going the right direction, but another one of those guys disappointed with his 3rd round today. 74. Kind of like Stanley.
It's almost getting so technical and precise the way they play. The players almost stop using their intuition and their sort of what's natural, you know, in the game. And that's a lot of them are going that route. You know, it's the topographical maps, it's this and that. But they're playing great golf, a lot of these young guys, with that technique.
So Stanley, as we mentioned, started the day with 3 birdies in the first 4 holes. Doesn't make another one until his final hole at the par 5 18th. 73 for Stanley, 5 under, 7 behind as he gets set for the final round tomorrow. So just 3 golfers left. Paul Casey is away, and David Faraday, you're out there with a group.
Yeah, I just want to go straight at that. With the slope of the fairway, just let it full run.
Perfect. Just a little conversation with John McLaren. And the wind is actually strengthened a little just in the last few minutes, and it's down breeze 251 yards.
Better hit it flush, huh?
Let's go, Paul! And it is so dark out here, I can't see that.
Going left. What?
Well, it's night golf, so I don't know where that is.
Yeah, you could hear Casey say night golf, so I don't know where that is either. You're not alone out there, David.
Well, our cameras make it look a lot brighter than it actually is. It is genuinely difficult to follow the ball. I mean,
and normally, even at this time of year out here in the Northeast, it wouldn't be, but it's just this gray overcast skies that have just messed with the visibility. Had one now.
244.
Beautiful swing.
Oh, just clearing. That's in Grayson Murray territory there.
Ball just isn't carrying, is it?
And John Rahm, David, was pretty hot after his 3rd bogey in the last 6 holes at 17.
Yeah, he was. He needs to finish with a birdie just to take the bad taste out of his mouth.
It's a good angle to that back right hole location. Not that he's looking at it, but
yep, and he has 233 left.
He's looking at this like he loves it.
That had to look really good in the air. Good shot.
Ryan Burr back in our Golf Channel studio. So only 3 golfers remain on the golf course at the Dell Technologies Championship while they all walk to their shots to the green. We take you back now to the Cambia Portland Classic. Stacy Lewis, 2-shot lead, looking for her first win in 83 starts. She has 33 top 10s on the LPGA Tour since her last victory. We take you there live.
It should give great hope to people who have strong desire and strong will and get through things. Everybody's got those things.
And those proud parents are at home glued to the TV right now, Judy. I can tell you that because Mom, Stacy's mom, and I are exchanging a few text messages. Look at this putt.
Takes a little stress off, though, just to tap in.
It was a great speech that she made at the Rolex Awards dinner a few years ago. I think it was when she won the Player of the Year. And she said, my dream 4-ball would not be the 4-ball, it would just be a 2-ball, me and my dad. And all the support that she had had as a youngster from her parents.
And there was not a dry eye in the house when she gave that speech, Tom.
Yeah, it was very special seeing the journey that she had made to the LPGA Tour and to the top of the LPGA Tour. In-Gee Chun's had a good year if you think about what she's done. 6th in the world. And the golf that she's put together, those runner-up finishes that we showed you, and a scoring average of 69.53. Lexi Thompson through the 69 barrier.
And I tell you, In-Gee is a beautiful player to watch. Beautiful golf game.
Now Jutanagan for a birdie.
Looking for this one to move a little left based on where she's aiming it. And it moves so very little.
Jutanagan, her sister, struggling with her game right now. feeling that she has a shoulder injury that's bothering her more than she might be letting on. And we saw her struggle last week at the Canadian Pacific Women's Open. She struggled this week over in Asia. And so at the moment it is Moria who is flying the flag for the Jutanagan sisters. Now In-Ji Chun to cut the lead to just 1 here, Jerry.
And not a whole lot of break in this putt, maybe just a touch left early. She couldn't possibly look any more calm. You never know how she is on the inside, but my goodness.
Looking good. It looks really good. And the lead is only 1 with 2 holes to play. In-Ji Chun wants to win this one just as much as Stacey Lewis.
Now invite you to stay tuned for the Cambia Portland Classic. Incredible drama brewing. Former world #1 Stacey Lewis hasn't won in 3 years. She's from Houston. Will donate her entire check to Hurricane Relief. While that's going on, it was a 3-shot lead. That lead is now 1. In-Ji Chun, 1 shot back. We take you now to the conclusion of the Cambia Portland Classic.
You've got 6 and that gauge online is 61.
Moria will be first to play.
Yes, you like a 45-yard shot with that? Yeah? Perfect then.
On the right side.
Yeah, you see that guy holding the yellow sign there? The guy in the red shirt? Perfect.
Just inside 160 yards from Moria.
Both these players playing with her are going to watch how this ball reacts when it hits this green. It's been usually pretty firm all week, especially on the front portion.
Wow, this is just right of the hole.
Now that hit really soft. Anything in this first part, that's where the water all drains down. When they syringe it at night, it gets really soft in that front portion of the green.
Now that's what's hard, because if you carry it all the way to the hole,
Yep, it releases, or it has.
and that hole is 9 feet from the left edge of the green, that I would think, Jerry, is concerning to her a little bit with that ball above her feet.
Ball above her feet, which usually goes left. Uphill lie goes left as well most times. 151 yards to the hole, choking down on an 8-iron.
Started on a good line.
Yeah, very high, comfortably right.
There's a slope there. Will it? Oh, it released.
Oh, that had to jump on her. Oh, goodness.
I mean, that green is crazy hard if you carry the ball anywhere beyond the hole.
Yeah.
From the fairway, that ball disappeared.
Well, it disappeared from our view behind a tree as it raced over the green.
In-Ji will be next.
In-Ji just 121 yards. This is a pitching wedge.
Shot. Good opportunity for birdie for In-Ji Chun. Stacey just over the green. What a battle. We'll be right back. Back at the 17th hole, Stacey Lewis's 3rd shot going right down the slope, Jerry.
The lie is better than we thought, but it is straight down cliff all the way to the hole. Couldn't hit it any softer than that.
Oh, does it? That's pretty good from there. Put that softly in, like you said, about as soft as you can hit it coming down that slope. So fast coming down that part of the green. The most pitch is on that side of the green. Moria will be next for her birdie. Currently 3rd alone. Just up this slope.
Yeah, it has a little uphill feel early. Should obviously move left since this sizable slope in the entire green from back right to front left.
One under on her round today. $11 green, so just to get the 16 under. Needs to go. Yep, just right up the slope. She'll have that left back in for her par. Looks like she'll put a mark on it.
For Tuesday, the longest drivers in the world go head-to-head for a shot at the championship belt and over $250,000. Don't miss the Volvic World Long Drive Championship. Our coverage begins Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Fans love that long drive thing.
Oh, it's really fun. Under the lights, it's going to be very exciting.
There is some serious energy on that stage.
And that's just from you, Jerry.
And Chun now for birdie. They got to go a little bit to her left.
You would think, but it's a little slippery too.
Yeah. Left it out to the right, beat it to the break. She will mark it. States will head back up to 18 here in a second. There we go.
And Brittany Altomare for a par. This is, at the moment, to put her in 4th place on her own. Her career best finish was last year, tied for 11th at the Volvic. So that is a really good week for Brittany Altomare.
3rd year on tour and 26-year-old player. Great week.
Stacey Lewis has this left for par. Maybe left center, Jerry, not a whole lot in it. It's just about the speed. Get it on the right line, I believe.
Well, she got a good look as they rolled past the holes. There shouldn't be a lot of doubt in her mind. She hasn't hit any what I would consider bad putts all week long. But it also, none of those have been on the 71st hole with a chance to win.
Oh, that was solid putt there for Stacey Lewis. Maintaining the 1-shot lead. That was solid up and down.
You could say she was due. That's the first putt she's made on the back 9.
Yeah, she's missed a couple of those to the right, but that she held her finish nicely. That was a solid stroke for sure. Take another look. Watch this reaction.
I got a little note that the putter actually belonged to her husband at one point. It's a little bit shorter than the one she had, and I guess he won't get it back.
He's not going to see that. Now, NG with her par. Take another look. Perfect back. That ball doesn't move at all. There you go. Nothing like it. I think of one of the shots that's going to come back if she happens to win. That's going to be the one. So about a 30-yard walk over to the 18th. Very tough driving hole. Toughest hole on the golf course today. So.
Well, Jim, we just heard from KPMG, and they have committed to match Stacey's donation from her check here. Stacey doesn't know that KPMG will be making that donation, but it's a great gesture from one of her main sponsors. So there you go. $195,000 on offer for a win here, so almost $400,000 will be going to the Harvey relief efforts from Stacey Lewis and KPMG if she gets the win.
Yeah, and it still is a big if, but having that one shot playing this final hole is huge. There've been a lot of big putts. That was one of them, and she managed it. A little bit of a break that NG didn't make that putt there, because she certainly hit a beautiful shot at 17.
NG Chun now on the tee, Jerry.
Not a breath of wind at the moment. And you can pretty much see everything on this hole from the tee, except a little fairway around the left. If you hit it up the left edge, it usually widens out, but she has swung so beautifully all day long. That's up the right edge.
Okay.
And just into the first cut of rough, it avoids the bunker. There's certainly an advantage coming out of the fairway here because of where the hole is cut today.
Yeah, the hole is tight to the left side. at 18. And it doesn't seem as though anybody's going to have an opportunity to play safe.
Now, Jutanagan. Well, certainly not Inji Chun, but she's one behind. So she's really got to try and roll the dice if Stacey's in the middle of the green looking like a two-putt.
That's up the right side as well. Headed toward the bunker.
And further right than Inji, and just sneaks into the bunker. So
And that's a bad spot in the bunker. She's still a little bit on the downhill slope. Very tough spot in the bunker for Moria.
Jutanagan is out of contention to win. It really is just between Lewis and Chun. Stacey with a one-shot lead here, standing on the 72nd tee.
This up the right as well. If it gets to the bunker, might be even right of it.
It does get into the bunker. I don't know about you, Judy, but I'm nervous watching this.
You know, I'm nervous for everyone. This is, you know, you always wish for a good contest, and we have certainly had it today.
And the biggest crowds I remember seeing here since the switchback to Columbia Edgewater. I think obviously a very biased crowd for Stacey and for the story that she represents this week. Moria first, a little bit of a downhill lie, 147 of the hole, but I don't think that was ever going to be the target off of that lie. This is right.
Jutanagan playing for third place at the moment. Brittany Altomare will be watching on, because if Moria makes a bogey here, Altomare will finish in a tie for third. Now Inji Chun first to play. How's the lie, Jerry?
Not a bad lie. First cut of rough, not ideal. You'd like to be able to maximize the spin with that tuck left hole location, but it's a bit of an uphill lie, so that will certainly help. It's 141 yards to the hole, but 137 to get to the putting surface in line with the flagstick. It's just a matter of how aggressive she's going to be, Judy.
You either have to play a little bit safe out to the right, or you got to be careful if you fly it all the way there, because it is firm also.
She was aiming a little right, hitting a little draw on a pretty aggressive line.
And there's that firm green.
Yeah.
Remember, Inji Chun is one behind, so you can't fault her for being aggressive. Now may need to chip it in depending on what Stacey Lewis does, and this is a crucial shot now for Lewis.
What do you think she's thinking, Jerry?
I think right now she took that flagstick out of her mind and is going to keep this right of the hazard, although she has an excellent lie in the bunker, slightly above her feet, which isn't a bad thing. 138 to the hole, 134 to get to the green in line with the flagstick, but again, I think this is going to be a couple yards right of the edge of the hazard.
Not a deep divot taker. She can almost pick it a little clean.
Got it very cleanly.
Come on.
It's the kind of shot you would expect from a former world number one.
Yeah, and she just could not afford to get braver than that.
Will two putts be good enough to win? Winning for her hometown of Houston, winning for the first time since June of 2014, ending that winless run. Inji Chun has made a great charge today. She was 5 behind at one stage. And let's see who's up to the challenge presented by Prudential. And it is Inji Chun, for the way that she has played today, sticking in there, taking the fight to Stacey Lewis on this final day. That was at the 7th hole. That would lead to a birdie. That will keep her 4 shots back of Lewis onto the 10th. And this is where she started to creep into that lead. A birdie to cut the lead to 3. Lewis missed her birdie putt. This was at 16. This was epic from Chun.
Just the most beautiful, smooth putting stroke, and the ball hugs the ground.
In-Ji Chun up to the challenge presented by Prudential for this final round of the Cambia Portland Classic. And In-Ji Chun has had her battles. And she burst onto the scene a couple of years ago at the US Women's Open as Lewis walks up onto that 18th green.
Let's just a second talk about the stern look always on Stacy Lewis's face. It is just her personality. She is, she's not that stern person at all. So many people, and I think I was probably one of them, they step on the first tee and they become a little bit different. It's your competitive face. It's all those things. But for anyone who knows Stacy personally, or for those of you who might have crossed paths with her in the golf world, she is anything but that very stern face that you see when she's got her mind totally immersed in golf.
In-Ji Chun will be playing ahead of Stacy. She won the US Women's Open a couple of years ago, and she won the Rolex Rookie of the Year award last year, deferred her first year of membership to 2016. She also won the Vare Trophy, but has not won outside of the majors. Lewis will be putting. Chun will be chipping. Her husband, Garrett Chadwell, flew in from Houston this morning. Stacy does not know that he is here. He's actually been sitting in our booth watching, and it's been quite difficult to watch Garrett. His leg has been shaking up and down in the booth as he's watched his wife trying to win for the first time since 2014. And now he's made his way outside of the booth. He's walked down to that green, and she probably doesn't know that he's there. So
he doesn't want her to know.
Now Moriji Tanagan.
Now there's a lot that could go wrong on that shot. She played it pretty smart.
Yes, a lot of nervous energy from Garrett Chadwell. You can understand. He's her biggest fan, and he's been a busy man back in Houston, tending to the issues with the team and players who have had to move out of Houston.
He actually has a player from this area who plays for him at the University of Houston, Amanda Elich. Kari Webb played with Amanda Elich and her dad Mike in the Pro-Am here one year. And Garrett happened to be here with Stacy, and Kari went and said, "You should look at this girl. She is good." Guess where she's playing? The University of Houston.
Right, Jerry? In-Ji Chun.
Well, getting this close would take an incredible shot. It's lying downhill, but on a rare instance, it's lying downhill but into the green. This grass is very sticky. It's setting down, making any kind of predictable contact is such a crapshoot, and the green slopes away from her.
Sand wedge, blade open. Pretty good. Pretty good. You could see that there was grass up behind the ball. It could not make solid contact.
Lewis with a one-shot lead. Her ball just at the back of this green. And will now have a putt to win. Two putts will get it done. It's been a long wait for Stacy Lewis. 12 runner-up finishes since that last victory.
All she wants to do here is get the speed right, and that's not easy.
Not a time for mechanics and how you work things out, but here's what Stacy has said in the last year. She says the way you have good speed with the putter is to hit the ball solid every time. And what she means by that is you have to strike the ball on the center of the putter face every time. Pretty soon, just have such an extraordinary touch. This is one of those times she really needs to do that. Tom, we talked yesterday, and I said this is not a player who is prone to tears, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw her shed one or two if this comes to be.
She doesn't show emotion much on the course. She gets angry at times. And she's been through a lot in her life and knows how to handle some tough situations. But as you say, the weight, the relief getting that win, and also what it will mean for the town where she lives. She's seen the pictures just like you have at home, devastating scenes, but it's different for Stacey Lewis. She knows the people that are involved. It's in neighborhoods that she recognizes, and she knows she can make a difference with what she does for a living and the amount of money that she will earn this week.
Stacey plays her golf in Houston at Champions, and Champions took a lot of water on. I think it's going to be a pretty tough comeback to happen anytime quickly.
Now Murray Jutanagan here has a par putt.
She's the older of the Jutanagan sisters. There is no doubt in my mind she will begin to win golf tournaments. She's just too consistent and too solid a player. Playing in the final group is a good way to start to get your nerves right, just to do that.
Disappointing bogey to finish for Murray Jutanagan, and just a round of 72, and it means that Brittany Altomare, the UVA Cavalier, is going to move up into a tie for third, along with Jutanagan. Now the stage is set, and it's not quite over yet. In-Ji Chun has a putt to put a bit of pressure on Lewis, even though you would expect Lewis to make her putt 99 times out of 100.
In-Ji really playing good golf, tied for third last week.
Two bogeys all week for In-Ji Chun, and none at the weekend. It's for a par. And it does put a bit of pressure on Lewis. She's making Stacey earn it. A 66 on the final day for In-Ji Chun is a terrific round of golf, and what a great battle it has been between these two players. But now Lewis with this short one to win.
I think this is where your experience shines through.
This a win for Stacey and a win for Houston.
best things I've seen in a long time.
And that is a nice surprise. Gary, down to you.
Thank you very much, Tom. Stacy, I know that was a huge surprise on the final green. What a moment for you. Was it easier or harder than you thought today?
Way harder. Angie just played great, and I knew she would, and I knew it was going to be hard, and I was hitting a lot of good shots, hitting a lot of good putts, and they just weren't going in. And to make that up and down 17, and then to hit that shot out of the bunker on 18, I mean, it's something you dream about.
You came here with a mission to make an impact, to donate all of your winnings to the hurricane relief efforts for Harvey. Unbeknownst to you, today, your title sponsor, KPMG, decided to match you dollar for dollar.
That's unbelievable. You know, when I said that, I had the goal of winning the tournament, and you got to get a lot of things right to go, to go your way, and what we're going to be able to do. We're going to be able to help people rebuild houses and get their homes back, and that's more important than any win.
I know it's only golf. You're providing relief to those people who need it in Houston, but how much relief do you feel?
I'm glad I don't have to play another hole, I can tell you that. I'm excited, I'm excited to get kind of that monkey off my back, and just to know that, I can do it. I can hit the shots when I need to, and hit the putts when I need to, and, it's nice to see yourself do that again.
Go sign the card, make it official.
Thank you. Thanks.
We had the best seat in the house. One of the best stories of the year.
We did. Her husband, her parents, her sister, her coach Joe Hallett, Travis Wilson, who's been with her such a long time. It's been a long, dry spell for winning, and this is the perfect way to get back in the winner's circle.
Well, this event has seen many great moments over the years, but hard to top this one. We will recap Cambia Portland Classic and Stacy Lewis's win when we come back. Today's coverage is brought to you by Cambia Health Solutions, by the new Titleist Pro V1 and Pro V1X. Choose the best for your game. And by Prudential, official financial services provider of the LPGA. Just a reminder that the Shore Charity Classic PGA Tour champions will be coming up next, the final round from Calgary. A quick look at our Kia shot of the day, and it belongs to Stacy Lewis early in the round. They were all important. This second of the opening hole. She got off to a terrific start, birdied the first and the second. Had a 5-shot lead. And it was closer than that come the end of the day, though. The Kia shot of the day. Well, Stacy Lewis will be signing a lot of autographs, taking a lot of pictures over the next 30 minutes or so, speaking to the media as well. We'll update you on the race to the CME Globe as we tick towards the end of the season. Lexi Thompson moves to number 1. It is really, really close at the top. Stacy Lewis rockets up 10 spots to 6th in the race to the CME Globe. This is how it finishes. And a last word for you, Judy.
One of the best feel-good stories of the year, or of a very long time.
Wonderful to watch. Coming up next, as we mentioned, it's the Shore Charity Classic. The LPGA Tour returns to Golf Channel on Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern with first round coverage of the Indy Women in Tech Championship. Many thanks to Judy Rankin, Jim Gallagher Jr., Jerry Foltz, Karen Stupples, and our entire team here in Portland. Stacy Lewis is a winner again on the LPGA Tour. From me, Tom Abbott, it's goodbye for now.